On the most recent episode of the Hanson and Hunt podcast, Mr. Hanson and Mr. Hunt reviewed an article that asked if social media as we know it is dead. The article was said that the era of scale marketing on social media, where companies traditionally just use blanket advertisements to as wide a target audience as possible in hopes of generating leads and sales that way, is slowly morphing into, or should be morphing into companies targeting the more splinter groups on social media that are constantly developed around whatever new idea or some common interest that these target audiences have. And the article was saying that companies should target their ads to these groups while ignoring most of the others. Mr. Hanson and Mr. Hunt mostly agreed. They did not think that the era of scale marketing was dead yet, but that it is dying and slowly morphing into more niche marketing. They also mentioned how a lot of company CMOs are not paying attention to this trend at all and keep on telling their social media teams to create more and more new channels when they should be getting rid of channels, or at the very least only make a new channel if they really think it's going to be profitable, while at the same time getting rid of a less profitable channel as they add one of the new ones. They also discussed a new trend on YouTube where content creators hire thumbnail designers instead of just making the thumbnails themselves like they normally used to. Because a good thumbnail can make YouTubers a lot of money, whereas one that's not as good might not be very good at all. So a good thumbnail, Mr. Hanson and Mr. Hunt were discussing how that can make all the difference. They specifically mentioned Mr. Beast, a prominent YouTuber, how he was even willing to pay potentially up to $10,000 for winning thumbnail design. Then they also discussed various comments about their previous podcasts. One of the ones they talked about most prominently was from a company which said that companies, instead of making videos or ads that interrupt what people want to watch, they should instead be making what people want to watch in the first place and generate sales that way. They also talked about social first marketing, which is what Duolingo has been doing, where instead of even trying to generate leads as a primary focus of their marketing, what they're instead just trying to do is just do limited advertising, but just that will cause people on social media to be hyped about whatever the company is doing, and then just word of mouth or them re-sharing on social media, and then use that to generate interest and then generate leads secondarily instead of primarily. We also talked about trend in crisis communications, where younger people in the field are more worried about being socially acceptable and saying things are socially acceptable, whereas older people in the field are more worried about legal issues. Mr. Hanson and Mr. Hunt were just surprised how basically no one, or a very small amount of people, were worried about restructuring or layoffs, even though there's been a lot of that going on in that industry at this time. One of the last things they talked about was calibration meetings, and how a lot of managers, even if they really like their employees, they can't get them a promotion because all the weird charts and tests in the calibration meetings. And Mr. Hanson and Mr. Hunt said they weren't really fond of these because they would tend to allow people who are not as qualified to get the job, and people who are more qualified might even not get the job. The advice that Mr. Hanson and Mr. Hunt gave to young professionals would be to try to get a good manager who will step up to the plate for you, but even more important, just to do well at your job, and then eventually people will notice. My opinion about what they mentioned at the beginning about social media splintering, I agree with that current trend is that social media is continuing to splinter, and companies should target more of these niche markets, so the scale approach, but the scale approach can still be useful for various industries.